Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to a new episode of Breakfast with Sergio. As you know, we are doing a special edition talking to artists stuck in their homes, in their studios. So today I'm super excited because I have with me all the way from LA, from the West Coast here in the United States, Martin Cox. So, hi, Martin. How are you? Good to see you today.
I'm good. Good to see you. Welcome, smiling face.
Excellent. Well, thank you, my friend, for joining us today. We are going to have a great conversation, a great chat to share with our friends. Because specifically, we're going to talk about, how this time in which we are all kind of stuck at home is also giving birth to all kinds of ideas and collaborations, which is something that we're going to chat in a bit. Yeah. But I think, with even though we feel stuck and we feel like our hands are tied, but our mind is still open and it's active, and new ideas are emerging every day, and I see that everywhere, and I see that in what you are going to be sharing with us too. So super excited to chat with you, Martin. But let's get started. If you can tell us a little bit about what's the situation there in LA, where you're at.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's funny. On the 15th and 16th, I was in a digital printing class at LACP. Mm-hmm. And it just seems like a year ago, I mean, the idea of being in a class with a bunch of strangers, it just seems bizarre, I mean, we just got in under the wire. It seemed like several people were asking, is it going to be canceled? And anyway, it was not, and it went ahead, and it was great. We all kind of sort of kept apart from each other. Mm-hmm. But immediately that Sunday night, everything changed, and we were all told to shelter in place. And then the sort of ransacking of the supermarkets began, and all the shortages, and it was
the toilet paper.
Very strange time. And it seemed like time slowed down. You'd think about something like, wait, that was only yesterday we found this out or that out or some. So I've been taking it seriously, so I haven't been anywhere at all. I mean, apart from that one time to get as much groceries as possible, and I've just stayed in. So I've been in. This is my 12th day. Yeah. In the house, and I leave just to go for a walk to kind of keep fit and get some air. And I just walk around the neighborhood and keep away from everybody. And it's extraordinary how fast things have changed, and it's extraordinary how we've all adapted too. I mean, somehow got used to this bizarre situation.
I know, and that's something that when you said, or what you said was so true. Like, all of a sudden, even though we had seen what was happening through the news and what was going in other countries and so on, it was like here came like in a quick way, or like from one day to the next, all of a sudden it's like, what? What just happened? So, kind of having that period of realizing, wait a minute, this is actually here and it's real. And so what's my part on it? Well, Martin, let's talk a little bit about also how this period has opened up new opportunities for us as artists. And in particularly, you want to share with us some of the things that has opened up for you, collaborations with others. So maybe take us to some of the things that you are doing right now creatively in that area.
Oh, sure. Okay. So, like others, I think I was sort of, flopping around a bit, trying to figure out how to do my day each day and how to stay out of worry. So keeping off the news, just checking in a little bit of news was helpful, and then staying out of it. But one thing that really, great thing that my friend, as an artist and cultural producer, Christine Shoemaker, she has a project called Shoebox PR. So she's like artist management, but she's also an artist and curator herself. Immediately jumped on this idea of pairing up artists remotely for us to do a call and response. What's the project called? Call and response, a collaboration with distance. Wow. And so the idea being that we all threw our names into a hat. She paired us up on a Facebook Live. So you got a name of another artist you're working with. So by 6 p.m. of the first evening, one artist presents the other with an image, and you have 24 hours to turn around and do something in response to that image. And it can be exciting. Anything. It can be your own medium. It could be something else. It could be, you could or incorporate that work in some way. So it's really open. It's about no stress and much experimentation, So I've been paired with another photographer who I actually know slightly, Diane Cockerell, who's tremendous city work. And so immediately I found having this deadline completely took me out of all the worrying and staring out of the window and what's going to happen next. Like, oh, I've got 4 hours left. I've got to create something, and get it off. And so that deadline has been very, very helpful. So with that project, we're going to, Christine and her team are going to collate it all, put it on a website, and then we'll have a Zoom reception for it. So the whole point of it, that we can still be making work and still be working together.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's exciting. So that's one of the projects you're working on.
So that's one project. And then something else I just stumbled across on Instagram was a British artist, Matthew Burrows, started something called it's a hashtag, Artists Support Pledge. Have you heard of this?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So so the LA version is just that we use $ instead of £, but the idea being that you sell works for up to $200 or pounds until you sell work up to 1,000, and then you will pledge to buy somebody else's work for 200, and just to create a kind of flow and a dynamism in the little market, which is a very brilliant idea, I thought. So
I think so.
Using my Instagram for that.
Absolutely. And what I love about that idea is that it doesn't have a central location, but everybody can run it, and everybody, it's just their goodness of their pledge.
And then I have a collaborator and friend called Douglas Hill, who is a photographer in both the fine art context and commercial. We've done a lot of projects together in both of that. We used to run workshops called Shooting Architecture, and we would take students around buildings of note in downtown Los Angeles, for example. So we are brainstorming on how to turn this into some kind of Zoom version of itself. Not really, we just started talking about it, so I don't know how that's going to go, but I'll put some details on my Instagram when we figured out how that's going to run. I mean, we have to steer away from taking people to grand architecture. That's not going to work. But what can people do in their situation which will, improve their photography skills and knowledge? So it's basically taking what was a physical class and figuring out a way to do it online.
And something that I love that you mentioned as you talk about, these projects, the idea that, now because you have deadlines and you have these things that are in your mind, it really puts you in another mindset where before, when like the first few days, I think for all of us, we were like in shock mode and, glued to our devices, trying to learn more and more. There's a moment where, okay, you already know what this is, how it works, and the things that are happening. And now it's like, okay, what am I going to do? And I think projects like that allows us to put our focus and our mind on things that are creative, that are productive, that in the case of the second project, that help also others as well. So it becomes not only about us, but now it's from me to we, right? That we all now become more of a community and work with each other. And I think, looking back as you were talking about that, like, maybe for me, like even these episodes of Breakfast with Sergio Special Edition, as I'm talking to artists every day, is helping me, also keep my mind creative in different ways. And because I got to think, okay, now I have another interview, now I have to edit the episode. And so it adds something there that keeps me creative and not just worrying about what's going on in the world.
Yeah. Looking for ways to structure your day to stay out of worry has been very important, because it can strike at any moment. And so having these other people and other projects to focus on is really pulls me through. And I find that now time seems to be traveling very fast. I mean, even though I've been at home all this time and I'm working on these projects, and I've been doing some meditation and then trying to do some exercise and stuff. And I'm thinking, I thought I'd get like all this cleaning done. I haven't really done anything. There hasn't been any time for cleaning up the studio, but probably that will come. So another project I was going to mention is something that I do apart from being a freelancer and an artist in Los Angeles. Is a couple of years ago, I founded a small, very remote art residency in Iceland.
Wow.
I've sort of fallen in love with the Icelandic landscape, and I've been doing a number of projects which are connected with that landscape. And so we're so remote that it's completely snowed in until eventually the snow goes away. So we can run it from about late April through to the end of October, and then it has to close because no one can get to the building anymore.
Oh.
So it's an old farmhouse at the end of a lonely fjord in the middle of nowhere. So
wow.
I was just really intrigued by the idea of, like, when you put artists in the path of such raw nature, something kind of incredible happens, you know. And so that connection with the place and the silence and the aloneness is so powerful. Anyway, but of course, over the last few months, where I've been talking to artists about coming and arranging their stays and all the details, and then gradually rearranging, and then I realized, like, oh, okay, this is not
going to work right now. Yeah,
no one's coming. Nobody can come. Coincidentally, Iceland has had an extraordinary winter with unbelievable snow levels, like 30-year high snow levels.
Wow.
So no one has been able to reach the building for well over a month, maybe longer. And just today, my cohorts, Beggy and Gulla, who are local, got there on foot for a 3.5-hour walk.
Wow, that's incredible.
And they just sent me some pictures saying she survived. There's no broken windows. It's in great shape. You know, the Wi-Fi still works. It's warm.
Wow.
So I just put a picture of how it is today with all the snow on the Instagram for the art residency.
Wow, that's amazing, and we'll be sharing it here as well through the video. That's so cool. You know, so it is an incredible way in which we are all connecting, right? And even though things that were planned are not happening, but finding ways to still connect and still make things meaningful, I think that's awesome. So, Martin, you've been really great with sharing these ideas, and it sounds like you are super busy, and you're going to be busy in the next few days as well, continuing with this. Let us know, you know, how those projects continue to happen. For our friends who would like to connect with you, would like to also see your work, where can they find you, both on Instagram, website, and anything else you want to share?
Sure, yeah. Okay, so Instagram is my name, Martin Cox, MartinCox, photos, PHOTOS.
Okay.
And also, if I might, I'll give the art residency Instagram also, which is Gils Fjordur Arts. So that's GILSFJORDURARTS.
Okay.
Gils Fjordur is the name of the fjord it's in.
And our friends can see it under the screen. They're great.
Yes, and my website is www.martincox.com. Super.
Well, thank you, Martin. Again, wishing you much safety there in LA. I know as we are all dealing with this together, and you know, wishing you great success also in all the projects. Sounds very exciting. Thank you for being here.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Sergio, and thank you for all your service to the art community. You do a tremendous job. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And so our friends who were watching this video, please share it with your friends. I know Martin and I will be super excited to see some shares there under this video. Please reach out to us, either Martin and I, if you want to connect, if you have any questions, particularly on the projects that Martin is working on. Make sure that you connect with him as well. And thanks for being here. Be safe, and we'll see you in the next episode of Breakfast with Sergio Special Edition. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.